Alright, what's going on, guys? So today I wanted to come on here and give my thoughts about the things that Jeff Grubb said. I want to apologize up front. The videos over the next couple weeks are going to be a little bit slow. I've just been crazy busy trying to work out getting a new job and a lot of things like that. But I want to go through this part of the video that he was talking about Elden Ring and why it might not show up at E3 and just kind of give my thoughts. This video is not really going to be scripted. I'm just going to be talking, so if I'm a little bit all over the place, I apologize. But I don't want to waste any time. Let's get into it.
Elden Ring is not going to be at the Xbox Showcase. Now, I mentioned this.
Okay, so one of you guys left on the community post I did a couple days ago, talking about how his sources are mainly from Microsoft. And if that's true, which I haven't really done my research into Jeff Grubb a whole lot, I know he is an insider and a journalist, so he would kind of know these things. And I also know that he doesn't have necessarily the best track record, but it does look like he would know his stuff about Microsoft. So if he says this, it's probably true, at least at the moment.
It's on the Games Beat Sides podcast, I think on Friday. And I don't know if I said it in so many words, but it's not going to be at the Xbox Showcase.
Right.
I'm pretty certain about that. And if it's not at the Xbox Showcase...
And he probably does have reliable sources telling him this. And obviously people like me or like people in the comments section aren't going to know more than he knows. So it probably isn't going to be at the Xbox Showcase, at least right now. Now, as we know with E3, a lot of stuff does change last minute. FromSoft very well could send a trailer in to the Xbox Showcase, but the good thing is, Bandai has never done a show before. And if they're finally doing a show at E3, I would expect them to want to bring something big for their first show. And off the top of my head, I can't think of any other big Bandai games that they haven't already shown on their YouTube channel. I said this a couple weeks ago in my Bandai Next video, talking about how Bandai has been pumping out content like crazy on their YouTube, promoting all their new games. And so I'm just thinking, like, what could be left for E3? Now, Elden Ring could. So, I mean, we'll see. We'll see.
Case, I am, therefore, pretty certain it's not going to be at E3 at all. There's still a chance.
But we don't know that.
Yes.
And that chance is Bandai.
If you were to ask me what my opinion is, what I think is going to happen, I think it won't be at E3 at all because it's not going to be at the Xbox Showcase. And like I said on the podcast on Friday on Games Beat Decides, I hope I am wrong about that, and if I'm wrong, I will gladly accept people coming up to me and saying, hey, look at the good news. It actually was announced, Jeff Grubb, you were wrong.
And that's another thing, too. He's admitting that he could be wrong. So, I mean, things could change at the last minute. We never know. It has in the past. It has in the past.
Wrong. Please do that if that's what happens. I would love to see that. But I'm trying to kind of correct my previous statements where I've said I expect it to be at E3. All the reasons I expected it to be at E3.
Where is he getting that information? He doesn't say where he's getting his information in this, which, I mean, he probably can't. But you'd think that'd be some pretty important information. Like, if you know all this insider information about the Xbox Showcase and about the development of Elden Ring, where are you getting this from? Because I'd like to know. And I think it'd add a lot more credibility to what he's saying, but as of right now, he hasn't said anything about that. And his opinion on Elden Ring has changed quite a bit in the past. But let's keep going.
Are still true. I think it's people were hoping it would be there. Obviously, they don't want to keep stringing people along and not having any updates. The people making this game,
why? That's what I was trying to say in my last video. Why aren't they putting out any information? It's putting all this unnecessary pressure on them. They could just be like, hey, it's going to be a while. The game's not coming out for 2 years. Don't pressure us. We're working hard. And everybody would accept that. Everybody would love that. So why? Why the silence? I mean, it's hyping it up for them like crazy, which, I mean, that's a good idea if you have a product to put out. But if you don't have a product to put out, you don't want to be doing, like, you don't want this kind of hype behind it. Because all it's going to do is create unnecessary pressure and put more strain on the development. But let's keep going.
The people marketing this game, they all want to talk about it. But E3 is a lot of work. And
They all want to talk about it. Do they, though? Do they? Where are you hearing that from? Who's marketing this? Xbox? I mean, they did one time. Where is he hearing this from?
it's a huge distraction for a development team. And even when you're not flying to E3, you still have to sort of, as a whole development team, pause, say, what do we need for E3? What kind of assets do we need? What do you need from us to help make those assets, that, like, make a trailer or something? And it's a distraction.
But that's a necessary part of a game promotion, though. I mean, everybody knows they need a trailer. Hang on. I'm sorry. Everybody knows they need a trailer. Everybody on the development team. And I'm sure they make many, many trailers. I mean, my education background is in marketing, so I know about this stuff. When you make a trailer for a game or promoting a product, you create many, many, many mock-ups, different types of trailers that the promotion team will then pitch to the developers, to the marketing team, to the heads of marketing to put out there. Now, we obviously saw that they had already made a trailer in the past for the investors. So, you'd think in that time, and apparently that was from 2019. So, you would think in that 2-year span, they would have made something for the consumers. So, that's just my logic on it. I mean, obviously, I'm just a random guy on the internet. I can be wrong. But that would make the most sense to me. I really don't think they won't have any trailer prepared by now. At least something. And obviously, if it's going to be at the biggest game showcase of the year, E3, they want to have a good one. So they'd want to spend a lot of time on it. But the idea that this is a distraction, I don't agree with. All right, let's continue.
It could take a week. It could take 2 weeks. And I don't think the team is in a situation right now where they want to take that time, where they can take that time. If I were to...
And let's also put into perspective that all of the insiders have said this game has been in development since before Sekiro. So, they don't have that time? I don't know.
Point to a reason, I would say that, number one reason continues to be COVID. It's just...
That is true, and there have been a lot of leaks that I haven't covered on the channel, saying that Elden Ring has been drastically affected by this, the development at least, which that's completely understandable, but that was in January of 2020, and it's still going on in Japan pretty bad, and that would have been at like probably 5 years of development for this game. If it was before Sekiro. I mean, Sekiro started back at the end of... back after they put out The Ring City is when they started development on Sekiro. And that game came out a lot sooner than most games would. Most AAA games would. So I don't know.
The reality of the situation. I know that we, in America, some can feel like we are.
And he goes on about this for a little bit, so
we'll
skip around.
Spike of the coronavirus ever, and it's still a real situation. The other problem, besides COVID, is probably cross-generational development.
Yes, I agree with this a lot.
Generation platforms are still giving the development team a lot of issues.
Think about how Dark Souls 3 ran on Xbox One and PS4. That game runs terribly on those generations of consoles. It's very, very bad. Like, me playing it on Xbox One, I am overjoyed if I get 30 FPS on Dark Souls 3. Now imagine Dark Souls 3 in a full open world, a lot less loading screens, a lot more enemies to render, a lot more environmental decoration to render, on a much bigger scale. I don't think the consoles can handle that. I really don't. And it kind of scares me that they might be having to hold back on this game quite a bit than what their vision is. If it is going to be for last gen, which it basically has been confirmed to be. So that's my thoughts on it. Let's see what let's see what he says.
And I know that echoes Cyberpunk. I still wouldn't expect Cyberpunk-like issues, but like I don't think it's going to be completely broken or anything, or run like complete trash on like a base Xbox One. But it is still causing problems, is what I understand. I know that's
where is he getting this from?
I know that's bad news, and I know that this is going to continue to upset people, but I have said things that we're probably giving people hope in the past, and
he has said that. Like his opinion is flip flop quite a bit.
Sort of readjust people's expectations. And again, I hope I'm wrong. I hope it's at E3.
Man, if it's not at E3, I'm gonna be so disappointed. Personally, here's my opinion. I'm not really gonna expand on this too much more. Fingers crossed. I'm praying. I'm hoping so bad it's at the Bandai show. And it could still be at the Xbox show. I mean, we don't know for sure. We won't know until E3 actually comes out. But in the next few weeks, in the next few weeks leading up to E3, the floodgates are definitely going to open. We're going to be seeing a lot more. And we all know the E3 show leaks way beforehand. It always does. And I don't know if I want to see that. I may not look at those, but I am going to be streaming E3 all the way through. Maybe not the PlayStation, but definitely the Nintendo, because Metroid, y'all know I'm a huge Metroid fan. I will freak out if we get any Metroid news. So I'm going to be streaming that. Definitely going to be streaming Bandai, Xbox, and that's probably it. But I will be streaming those, so y'all keep an eye out. This format of video, I'm not going to be doing this a whole lot. I'm just doing this right now because I'm crazy busy. But I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments, and I'll see y'all in the next one.